Okay, so let's go ahead and put some robots, and I have a wide selection of robots we can create it. Most of those models, like for example, we're going to use this heavy Mac one. It's come from DAS 3D. It's relatively inexpensive, and you can use it in many of your renders, so which kind of nice. I cannot include, because it's purchase model, I cannot include in the pog, but if you're interested, you can use your own, or you can kind of purchase and render and do this. But how I said, this is a very nice model. I like a lot how it's done, and it's covered so multiple. Overall, we'll just work using that model. One other thing is when you create the poser, when you import like this poser model, what I recommend you to do after you set everything, go ahead and export. You can export as or save as VOB, so it will be a VU format. So next time when you're importing this, you don't need to go through all this importer, you don't need to stop your textures, you can use it. So as example, let's say right here I have this robot that I just show heavy Mac, and I create it and save inside the VU and save as model. So we'll go click on this robot, a little bit too small, let me increase size on this one, and we'll bring closer to the camera, because actually it is, if we look on the size, it's quite a bit large, 26 meters, so realistically it will be about this size. We just have it very far away other environment, but it will bring closer. Okay, so here's about our size. And what's happening if we look on materials, usually I go inside and I modify those materials. So I take bump map down to 0, I rework on the highlights and other ones. Be sure the model is look correctly inside the VU. So after I've done this, I save it, this model. So in these situations, I don't know if we'll do this way, because I can just go, let's hold copy alt this one, and we can just go to our rocket, copy material. Let's go to our next one, and we'll just paste multi-material. So we'll just apply it. On this case, we have 2 robots. Let's preview. We'll ignore the luminosity, and it's just for this light bulb right there. You can see with. So we can have it similar matching ours or different color. I don't know. We'll probably leave it this color for now. But this way you can see much easier how you can do it. Same, and if, for example, if you create your new walking one, you can right click, save, and now you save it with as VOB with your local. And I do recommend for you create your models and save as you work with them, because it does make much easier in the future to work with that. Okay, so I'll create model, because I know my model will stand from here about this size. And just preview, let's do this way. So I'll create cylinder, which kind of represent about model where I'm going to place. So it'll be on the ground, somewhere standing around here. And don't worry too much about scales, because all scales is relative. And if we're putting on a background, it will be just fine. So like around right here will be our model. Okay, then I can take this guy, make it bigger, put it a little bit on the side, kind of so you can see the robot. Maybe even position around here. The one right there, let's take this one, copy. And that one, actually, I want to put it closer to rocket. I'll go up and click on drop, so it's dropped to ours. In this case, we can have this robot kind of like on the back, so you can see more than one. You know what, let's copy this one again. We'll bring him a little bit closer around. Maybe here. Look straight at us, drop to the ground. So just create kind of more than one robots, give it some story to this. Okay, that is where is the model located. Sometimes if you want to add, we can create more dramatic look by overlaying or creating element very super close. For example, we can have it different robot, and you know what, let's go look on maybe bring this robot in. This is different robot, and again it's example we maybe will do or not. This is poser model, but it is kind of with a class everything. You know, we can actually create like this and bring this robot very close to the camera, like overlay almost. Let's position. So on this almost will be around the model, which will create more dramatic look. And you know what, we'll just even hide the legs, almost like lean out in a screen. Let's move it back, make it bigger. Kind of like almost overlay, so we can create more actiony look. Again, this is, we can go either way, but this is just suggestion, so you don't need lock to this flat look. And this, it is somewhat flat look, but again, I'm needed top and bottom to put it, so I think this will work okay. Next, I'm not sure if this robots is matching ground, still be look a little bit boring to me, so it does not look very excitement on the ground. We could take an overlay textures. Probably what we're going to do is much easier to go inside the Photoshop and overlay this texture on the ground, so we can kind of going and add a little bit more deserty look kind of break, and that's probably what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and hide this cylinder. We don't need it. One thing I want to actually change is go to atmosphere editor and switch from photometrics to standard. The standard will have a much more vivid color. And as well, when we do this, let's open main camera and disable after exposure. That will make us a little bit wrong. Okay, so right here a little bit darker. I think it's look a little bit better. We can increase up our sun. Let's go now to atmosphere editor, lights. So we have it standard spectral, ambient light, a little bit more desaturated, darker. Okay, let's pop up our brightness slightly up right here, so we have higher contrast. Those robots, you know what, maybe we should switch them to the other color. So let's go ahead, select 1, 2, 3, all of these robots. Okay, right here, we'll go to edit material. Okay, this is on the top, they are apart. So I'm going just paste right there, so we'll have it all kind of, they look same metallic, so kind of similarity will be in this. And on the ground, let's go to our planet. We'll go open, edit this one. Let's create a new material. We'll switch this to natural grain, and we'll switch to the darker around here. So kind of darker grain, you can see how it's going. And we'll go to presence right there, and let's go bring this range a little bit down. And fuzziness on top. So it just add kind of darker to our ground, even maybe more. There you go. We'll just blend it right here, just a little bit, make it darker kind of ground standing. Okay, let's click OK and preview. So we'll ignore our again. Going, think this is look a little bit better now. Okay, our sun going from this position. This robot we may be covering, but I think it's okay. That one here, and our model. Okay, so it's look better. Sunlight still a little bit need adjustments, I think. Let's move closer to the camera. So we'll make our brighter. And of course we will, okay, right around here. So it will brighten up. Let's go to editor. We still have it brightness. Bring a little bit down. Okay. Now let's go in the sky fog. And we'll go right here, get our RL perspective a little bit up. It should add some haziness, and it's what I wanted, maybe even a little bit more. And so we'll have it nicer haziness on the back. And I do like how coloring coming, so it's what I was, this is my main, remember some of these elements will cover, so we need to kind of keep it. Haze on the ground, fog I don't want it, but we could work a little bit more fog to add some highlights. Again, if it's too bright, we can go a little bit darker cyanish, I think, around that color. So it will be, should darker give it us more coloring play, and that's what I'm going red, cyan, so that we will with those complementary colors. It's what we kind of trying. I'm going after this, creating those. Okay, so I think this is add kind of nice. Let's increase a little bit more decay on this and drop sky a little bit down. We'll see if it's give it us a little bit bluish, but I think I want a little bit more reddish there to go. So we'll increase amount of decay blue, and you know what, let's go to add a little bit more glowing in the sky. Okay, we have it, I think it's kind of nicely going, so we have a good complementary color going on there. Our haze will overall darken, so I don't know if I want that. I think that without actually haze should even go lower, so we'll have a little bit more brighter colors going up. Okay, I think that one is set up good. You know what, let's go ahead, select all of these guys, including rocket. We'll go to copy, paste. So we'll apply it all to same materials. And right here, our color, you know what, let's bring brighter. I think there was a little bit too dark. We'll bring them a little bit out of this. Okay, right on top, still I'm not sure if it's, I like how it's going to cyanish. I maybe want red. And to do this, we can take, actually, let's go take our sky. Just pop up a little bit. It should increase our glowing. Or we can actually, if we're going down below, you can see right here will start darkening because it's squish atmospheres a little bit. So it's what we do, a little bit squishing on this one. Haze, remember we always can also switch. If we want warmer, we can go to a little bit more brighter yellow on a haze, and it should warm up a little bit our view. Like right here, you can see it will add a little bit more warmer, but we start losing our bluish kind of cyan. So I'm not necessarily like kind of what is going on right now with this contrast kind of going very good. Okay, let's pop up our quality at least slightly up. I don't want to create any clouds. We could, but remember clouds will increase render time. But if you're interested, we could add just simple big cumulus clouds to this. But normally what I will do, I'll take my density to just 1%, opacity to 100%, so just create kind of like almost lines going around. Because with coloring going, we can go with increase shadow. Let's see what our ambient light We can go more to coloring or ambient light adjustment for this. If we edit, we want to go to forced ambient light, and let's go just to create and sun. We'll just go opposite from top, so we'll just have it cold color, cold warm color, set on both of them. Okay, let's go back to here, and we can now playing with a little bit more of the lighting on our clouds. Let's pop up slightly details and increase altitude variation, so it will go to the top, and our altitude is 1 kilometer, and height we can just slightly increase. So you can see just adding this kind of more elements to the cloud, so we can leave it. Problem is with creating that way, it will create a little bit more to render time for us. So also let's select our planet, and this is our nebula. So if we want nebula, let's pop up a little bit on brightness, that it should bring more color in, and we'll just add softness in the face. Same. Let's go to our other planet, and we can bring very bright, or we can reduce down. So I think we'll go just maybe around here. Let's go increase softness on the planet, pop up a little bit brightness, and phase. Now let's go bring down phase kind of like this. So I'm just looking right here, edge. We have a beautiful looking edge. Going pop up brightness because our softness. I think this is kind of look good. Okay, masking. We could apply some masking to this. Before that, let's be sure you save your work. So always do this, kind of go through the phases. Okay, if we're going to render, in render we also want to use it multipass. So let's go switch our multipass, and reason is why I want to actually preserve some of the masking. So for example, right here we have our components, render components. We have atmosphere, so we're okay. I don't care about those ones, but I want to have maybe Z depth set on this. And we have it also materials, object, so layer. Let's go with the object, and with the object, because I'm going to put maybe texturing additional on the ground, I want to be sure my walking this or walking, okay, and as well my rocket is mask. So I want to save those masks, and we can always save multi-layer, multi-pass. So let's name it multi-pass here, save it. So we'll just be sure save all those. You could increase all additional like materials, other masks, but I think that should work for me because I just want isolate and just put it right here, maybe a little bit of different. Sky, we can easily overlay all of those elements, but you can put it as many as you need it, so to mask in the future. Okay, we'll go again, render to screen, set. Here's important for us to set right size. So I want to actually set 5000 pixels. So I want to have it larger element. It's not as big as, sometimes you can go even higher, but I think this way it's kind of will work for what I want to do it. We'll go click, okay, right there, all set. So let's go ahead and render, and we can render two ways. First, we'll render normal, and other ones we'll use it NPR render, and we'll look on this another place after. So we'll see what is different, how we can add those more illustration look with NPR. So I'm going to click render, and this moment I'm going to pause the tutorial, and we'll continue when the render is all done.